Welcome to Life Etc., a show that covers all aspects of life, relationship, and success. And I'm your host, Anna Elton. Today we have a special guest, Ashley Sweder. She's Mrs. Albania World, and she's an amazing founder of Fearless and Fabulous. Welcome, Ashley.
So glad to be here.
So before we dive into pageantry and business, I would just like to know a little bit about you. So who's Ashley?
A lot of different people in the world. I work for Amazon. I've worked for Amazon for over 12 years. I have a daughter. She's 6. I've been married for 13 years. And then I love to do charity work. Fun fact I tell a lot of people, I am very involved in the gym and healthy eating. I believe healthy eating is the best thing you can give yourself and your family. I'm currently going through hearing loss due to COVID a few years ago, and had some really difficult times in the last week. I lost my sister officially this morning after a few days in hospice. So it's been a rough time.
I'm so sorry to hear that, Ashley, but thank you for being here with us and thank you for sharing your story. So I know the whole theme of this episode is being strong. So what does it mean? And I think it's really important, right? Especially with everything going on.
Absolutely.
So let's start pageantry. I know there's more important things than pageantry, but let's start with something fun and light, and hopefully we can set the mood for the episode. So can you tell us a little bit more about, why you enter pageants? What does it mean? When you go in there, do you have any experience with pageantry? And,
Yeah.
anything you would like to share?
Absolutely. I started my career off in modeling. Somebody actually approached me and was like, why don't you try pageantry? You do a lot of community service. I work with Special Hearts Farm. We are building 150 units of housing on a farm for special needs with a ton of grants right now. It's going to be amazing. And pageantry isn't just about being, looking a certain way or walking on stage or meeting people. It's really about what your voice is, what you believe in. And I am very passionate about special needs. I am very passionate about helping those who need it most and being that voice when people don't have one. And that's why I started. I was able to meet amazing people throughout my pageant career. And it has been able to help so many people, especially in the special needs community who, in their 20s, they lose funding a lot of time and there's nowhere for them to go. And a lot of times, if you have aging parents, it's very difficult to stay at home when you have a parent that's in their 80s that can no longer support you. So the journey has been difficult at times, but it's been rewarding. I had one of the most difficult times in my life the last week, and I had over 175 pageant queens reaching out, rallying around me, supporting me. And it's a community. I can't even explain the support system that goes with it.
That's amazing. So sisterhood is the real thing, right? In pageantry.
Absolutely.
So can you tell me about your first pageant versus now, how different it is? Is there something that you learned for pageantry about yourself and others?
First pageant, I'll never forget. I almost didn't get on stage. I was so scared. I've never been in a position besides modeling where I actually had to speak in front of so many people, get on a stage, walk across the stage, being judged, right? You think of pageantry and you're like, that's so weird. You put yourself in a situation where you're judged by a panel of people. And I'll never forget, I got on stage and I looked out in the crowd and it was like, I didn't even know what was going on. My brain just froze. I was so unbelievably scared. And I did it. I came in top 10 my first pageant, which for me was a dream come true. I never thought that would happen, but it was a very different experience, right? So for me, it taught me that while I'm strong in certain aspects, I really needed to work on that communication under stress. And that's where the path of a different type of strength came, because I like to lean on my family a lot. My husband has been my best friend my entire life, but there's times where he's not going to be around and I have to be able to handle those situations. And I think for pageantry, it was leading in, it really helped my corporate career as well. And I started taking public speaking. I started learning how to handle that stress and be able to speak while you're so scared you feel like the words aren't going to come out. So for me, it was a learning experience in its own.
So I'm just thinking back to our early years and maybe in high school, right? When you have to present in front of your class and, you're shaking and you're kind of like, okay, I don't want to go. I don't want to be first. And now you're putting yourself intentionally in that place, right? Where you have to be in front of people and in front of people, in front of strangers. and you have to make sense.
I can say I had to speak towards the end, and I'm not sure how much sense I made the first time. I was speaking, and I don't even think I understood what I was saying at one point. But I can tell you, throughout my career, I've met amazing people within the community, and now it's like a world of difference. But it's also opened up so many doors. I never thought at age 37 I would be on a runway in Paris modeling. I never thought I'd be in a runway in Miami and New York and meeting all these amazing designers like Giannini Azar, Giovanni, who is like now a family to me. I needed a last minute dress. I modeled for them a few months ago, and Katie shipped one overnight for me for Worlds. I'm leaving on Thursday. So it's such an amazing community, and we take care of each other when we need it, and we share our resources, through Fearless and Fabulous, and we'll get into that later. My biggest thing is that pageants are so expensive, and I want to be very real here and very direct when I say this. The average person cannot do a pageant because it is so expensive. The average dress, like, let's be very honest, is $3,000 to $10,000 that these girls wear on stage. Hair and makeup for one day can be $400. It can be $15,000. So something we do at Fearless and Fabulous is all the dresses, and my husband loves this, by the way, are all stored in my home. But we ship them out to you, and you get a few weeks to train in them, and then you can utilize it for any photo shoots. And then all you do is ship it back. We pay for shipping and handling as well, because every woman, every person should be able to experience a pageant, no matter how much money you have.
So I guess it leads us to your foundation, right? Your business. Can you tell us a little bit more what it's all about, and then how people can
Absolutely.
reach out and learn about it?
Yeah, Fearless and Fabulous was born. I was really sick. So during COVID, it was the very early stages of COVID. I was coming back. I came back from London. I came home, and I'll never forget, I looked at my husband and I said, I don't feel right. I don't know what's going on. And I went to the hospital, and they said, it could be COVID, it could not be. But in the beginning, they were only looking at certain countries that, it was coming from, that people traveled to. So they didn't even test me. And I was getting rapidly sick very, very quickly. And I ended up being hospitalized. And I had been sick years prior in my life. I had endometriosis very badly. I was on a ton of antibiotics for, I think, about 18 months. So when I got sick this time again, I don't know what it did, but it just, like, a chain reaction of inflammation in my body. I was so sick for so long. I was on heavy antibiotics for a very long time. Again, I started getting ringing in my ears. It was excruciating. And I had to sit down with the doctors, and there was a choice I had to make at some point. Like, the ringing, it's not going to go away. It's impacting my nervous system at this point. And I kept taking the medication, the antibiotics, because I was scared that I was going to have organ failure at that point. So we continued, and there was an understanding that my hearing probably would have issues. Hopefully my eyesight in other parts of my body would not. The biggest issues I had were I started losing my hearing, and I also had issues like with my skin, and then later on, like, some GI issues that we've worked through with a lot of natural foods. Hearing, I think, for me, has been the biggest shocker, and we'll talk about strength. Something I've done my entire life, and I didn't notice this until I was sick, is run away from a lot of my problems, either working out, right, just physically avoiding them, to be honest with you. It was my safe space. Like, if I didn't like conflict, I would hide from it. And when I started losing my hearing, I couldn't hide from it anymore. And I think that terrified me, because there's a point where I am never going to be able to hear my daughter's voice again. There's a point where I have to learn sign language, and I'm approaching 40, and I couldn't even learn Spanish in high school. And working through this and realizing that it's a new life for me. Everything's different. The world is not built for people who are deaf. I will be very honest with you. And it's been very difficult. It's even been difficult to, understand what life's going to look like. I don't know what life's going to look like in the next couple of years. Could something else go wrong? Could I have lasting impacts from all of the medication I've been on for so long? My joints started hurting at some point. Could I have an autoimmune disease? So I think for me, strength was really me being able to control my life. And I couldn't do that anymore. And I think for me, that's been the most difficult, but the most rewarding at the same time, because I've really understood who I am as a person.
You went through a lot. So what's now? So what did you learn? How do you feel? Is everything okay? Or, like, is it getting better?
I would say that the The future's unknown. For me right now, there's a new fight that I have in my life after going through what I went through with my sister. Um, Being a part of going through the medical system in America and struggling, I immediately knew that when my sister started going through some of the issues she had, to ask as many questions as I possibly could. Um, and my sister's story is a very long story, but a lot of times, like, she ended up where she ended up because people made poor decisions. Doctors did not make decisions that were her best interest. Dosages of medications continued to go up until she got a point where she needed it, right? And you can only take so much medication before it becomes dangerous to your health, right? And she got into a point where she went into hospice as a non-terminal patient. Those of you who understand the medical field know that that's more rare, especially in somebody who's in their 40s. So my fight is coming along, and I will be working with a couple of organizations. Fearless and Fabulous will be joining a few different organizations, but we are going to be joining the fight on drugs. A lot of people look at the war on drugs as a dealer on the street. You get a pill, you accidentally take it, and you OD because it has fentanyl in it. And I'm going to tell you that that's not always the case. Sometimes the drug dealers wear lab coats, and sometimes they'll sit next to your bed and they'll tell you that they're going to give you a pill and everything's going to be okay. And they're not going to explain to you that, you know, you may be okay right now, but what's the cost? And is there a way to change it? You know, if I give you all this medication today and you keep taking it and you need a bag of morphine tomorrow because I put you on opiates, what does that mean for your long-term care? And do we have a withdrawal plan? And if we don't, why? So I think for me, it's going forward, making sure that none of the families that will ever have to go through just the unknown that we went through for so long. And then later on in life, you know, what does happen and what impacts does your life have? Because the new conversation now is, you know, if you are going to give me medication, like, what are the implications of that? And what does my livelihood look like later on?
Mm-hmm. So you definitely need to ask, right? And you need to advocate.
You have to advocate.
Is there anything specific that you learned through this journey, through this fight?
And they're patient advocates. Every single hospital has one. Ask questions. When you have a sickness, when something is happening to you, a lot of times people feel pressure to make a decision right then and there. They get cancer and there's a plan put in forth. They'll check you into hospital and they'll say, we need a decision right now. Are we acting? What are we doing? I want you to take a step back and I want you to breathe. There are so many amazing doctors in this world. There's so many different treatment plans. And I think for me, looking back, I wish I would have done my own research and advocated for myself. I knew that when I was on that medication, I knew that when my ears started ringing, I knew that when my body was fighting itself, that I was going to have a lot worse side effects and it was going to impact my life later on really badly. But I kept being told, like, just get through this. It's like the light at the end of the tunnel and things are going to get better. But that's not the treatment plan I was on. There was always going to be a struggle at the end of the day. So that's what I would say is there's always patient advocates. There's different support groups that you can call as well, because let's be realistic, a lot of us don't have families that can sit in the hospital with us as well. That's also, I mean, look at a lot of people are struggling with the economy. They have to work 24/7. Your spouse can't be with you all the time. So there are a ton of resources. I'm going to be linking a lot of that to ashleysweder.com, which is my website as well that we utilize for Fearless and Fabulous. But just advocate for yourself. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say, I don't understand what's going on. I don't like what I'm hearing right now. Just because you don't have a medical degree doesn't mean you can't advocate for yourself.
That's amazing. I mean, all this information, right? And all this heaviness. And I'm just thinking, like, when you think of the pageantry, you think of something light and, you know, beautiful, right? And there's no baggage that comes with that. But in reality, all the girls who go there, they have their mission, right? They have their story. They have something important they want to share with everyone watching them.
Absolutely.
I just want to shift gears a bit, right? I know we talked about really important stuff, but let's go back to pageantry. So you're leaving next week, right? No, this week.
The 22nd, yeah. We leave the 22nd. We have interviews. We have prelims the 27th, and we have finals on the 29th.
So can you tell us a little bit about Mrs. World?
Mrs. World, I chose this organization because there are so many, if you're familiar with pageantry, any type of pageant you want is probably out there somewhere for you. The Mrs. Pageantry really centers around having a spouse, being married, motherhood as well, and it just celebrates being married, and what that means, right? It's very different than, like, say, like a Miss USA pageant, where you're, 18 years old. You're at a very different stage in your life. So it's something that I enjoy. I get to take my daughter on a lot of different trips. She loves seeing some of the things that we get to do, but it's a lot about advocacy as well, which is my passion right now. You get to have anything that you're passionate about, your story out there, so people can learn from you as well. It's an amazing organization, and it's very, very supportive as well. I will tell you, with all of this going on, the director actually asks, like, what can we do for you? Is there anything, we can do to support you at this point? They've gotten resources as well as needed to.
That's amazing. So I know some people don't even realize that there are pageants for misses, right? When we think of pageants, we think of someone who is maybe 18, right? Someone's 18, 20, but for misses, can you share some resources, stories, right? Because I know in pageantry, they're like, any age, right? You can be 65 and you can be pageant queen.
Yeah, absolutely. So the rules and regulations are on, you can go to mrsworld.com. I believe the rules are you have to be 18 or over. I believe you have to be married. I think it's for 2 years, at least. And it does not matter if you have children or you don't. But this pageant system has been, for me, it's very supportive. There's a lot of different resources. So even if you're somebody that's brand new in pageantry, it's the Miss America system. So it goes all the way down to the state level, which is where you started. I started at Florida. I ended up winning Mrs. Florida American last year. So you can reach out to any state director in the United States. There's one in Canada as well, by the way. You can reach out to your state director and they can give you resources. They can get you started. I started out, I want to say 3 years ago, and I knew nothing about pageants. Like I said, I got up and I did not know what to expect. The state directors are amazing. They can point you in the right direction. And if you don't think you can afford it, reach out to me, because we do support girls. We do pay a lot of their fees when we can. And we can get you a beautiful custom dress that myself or my daughter helped design. She's going to be an amazing designer someday, by the way.
And then you mentioned your daughter is 6, right? Is she coming to watch you at the finals?
Yeah, so normally what happens, if I do events, they'll come, my husband and my daughter will come the last few days, and she loves it. She actually has a camera and like a notebook, and she goes around and gets all the girls' photographs and their autographs as well. She likes to collect that. She thinks it's so cool.
I love that, the collector, my favorite type. So how about your husband? I know this one can be tough, right? Because some husbands, they love to be on stage, but most of the husbands, they would like to be off stage, right? So how was your husband?
My husband is the most easygoing person in the world. I am so lucky, to be honest with you. He has been an amazing support system. He is one of those people where I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. And he'll just be like, nope, yes, you can. Just go do it. Try it. You'll be okay. You'll figure it out. He had to go on stage when I won Mrs. Florida and I went for Mrs. America. He had to introduce me in the beginning, and I'll never forget the video. I have it on my social media. It's so cute. And he just looked at me and his eyes were like open. I could tell he was as nervous as I was. And we had to do like rehearsals, and he's like, all the husbands were so funny. Like, they just weren't focused or paying attention. It was an absolute mess, but it was like the funnest situation ever. But I'm so lucky. He kind of just goes with the flow. Every time I have like a new adventure, like I'm going to start a company and we're going to go global. And he's like, okay, what support do you need? Let's try it. There's always a new adventure. Like, we're going to go to Paris tomorrow because I just got booked for Fashion Week, and he's like, okay, like, let's try it. Let's have fun. You only live once. So.
Love that. So it sounds like your husband is a professional, right? So he should be just fine on stage next week. How about your costume? I feel like costume is the funnest part of the pageantry. So I'm not going to ask what type of costume we don't want to disclose, right? But what was the process when you were thinking? Was it like something easy? Was it something difficult? How do you even find someone who will create a costume for you?
Yeah, so I work with Giselle. She's an amazing costume maker. So you will see this costume probably blasted all over social media. I don't know how much it weighs yet, but it's going to have more Swarovski crystals than I think anybody's ever seen in this lifetime. I like sparkly because you have one life to live, and why not? The process is really fun. I want to represent my home, which is Albania. There are some amazing traditions that we have in Albania, and you're going to see one on the stage. We'll be working through that. My evening gown actually represents an amazing tradition as well. Everything I'm doing is out of respect for my home, and it's out of showing our true traditions. And my daughter's been involved the entire thing. My daughter actually helps design most of my costumes. She's young, but she just has these amazing ideas. My last costume, she helped build the crown that went on the costume, and it was like a flower, and it was the most beautiful piece I've ever had. And she sat at the table with me and the costume designer for hours, and she wanted it a specific way, and I'll never forget, somebody videotaped her when I came out for Mrs. America, and she was just so proud of herself that she had built this crown, and it was gorgeous. And she helped again for the costume. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. And my gown is going to be very specific color-wise, and you'll understand that when it comes out, and it represents a new life in our culture and what that means. And I never thought that I'd be here talking about losing my sister. And now I'm sorry. Now it's like, it just represents like everything that she was, just such a beautiful person. I never meant for it to be like that, but it does. And now it means even more. And it was her favorite colors as well, which is even more special. But it's a fun process is what I would say. Very fun.
Mm-hmm. So how about all the dresses, right? Because it's any pageant, especially if it's national or international, you have to change outfits multiple times a day, right? Your hair, your makeup, your outfits. So how many dresses are there? How many suitcases?
My coach called me last night, and she was like, you need to cut down on the bags. She's actually coming tomorrow. They're all helping me pack. We have a team. So when you go to an international pageant, there are some girls that when they're very early in pageant season, they'll really try and do everything themselves. And ladies, it is so unbelievably difficult. We have over 32 outfits set up. So basically the easiest way to do it is you go by the day. So you get an itinerary that you're going to have. You go by the day. You'll have at least 3 outfits per day, morning, noon, and then night. And you will pack based on the outfits, based on the day. So you'll have your outfit, you'll have shoes, you'll have earrings that match. I absolutely love earrings, if you can't tell. And then I'll pack them based on suitcases, so that once I get there, there'll be, let's say, 12 suitcases that go in my makeup artist room so she can do my makeup, and then I get dressed in there, and there's be 2 in my room that have like my gym clothes and clothes that I'm going to sleep in, which we do very little of pageant week, like full transparency. there's not much sleeping going on. But we have a very large team going. So Albania is the largest team I've ever had. We are flying with at least 4 people. Then we have others that are meeting us. So there's going to be 6 of us total. We have hair and makeup. We have social media. I have my assistant, who I have worked with for I think 3 years now. She's honestly more of like my emotional therapy once we get there. But yeah, it's gonna be fun, but it's a lot. Like I was wondering if people wanted to see behind the scenes, and a lot of my followers actually said like they would rather see that than anything else. So I was like, okay, if you want to see the 17 bags and the crazy airline fees and trying to get through check-in, like come along for the ride, because people think traveling is so glamorous when you're in pageants, and it's not. It's a mess. Like you get to the airport, you have to go a few hours early. I'm a really bad traveler, by the way. I like push it to the last second. If you ever see a TikTok video that's like, if you have pre-check, you can go like 30 minutes prior. That's what I do. It's terrible. Don't do it. But like pageant travel days, a mess, because you have your whole team. You have all of this stuff, and these dresses are heavy. So every single bag is probably going to be overweight. It's like a guessing game on what the fees are going to be. And then there's certain airlines that they max you out at a certain amount of bags. So then it gets to the fun game of like, well, who can take this? How many people do I have going? How do we split it? So just getting there, it's like a circus.
So how many gowns?
A lot. I have at least 8 gowns, like professional gowns going. I have my stage gown, but I always bring a backup just in case something happens. I cannot tell you how many times I've been backstage and sewing another girl's dress. My first pageant ever, one of the Miss contestants, right before she walked out, I am talking 90 seconds we had for her to be on stage, her gown ripped. Like right there. So I was on the ground stitching it, and just trying to like get her on the stage. And I'll never forget, like my hands are over my face and I'm like, please, God, don't let this dress rip on this woman while she's on this stage, because I just sewed it. So it is completely my fault if anything happens at this point. And she was so sweet, and she ended up winning the pageant. Thank you so much, God, for looking out for us then. But it's Backstage is absolutely crazy, but there's always a gown situation that happened. But we're always helping each other. Like it's not, most people think like, oh, it's so catty, this and that. Like, no. We are laying on the floor helping each other. There are shoes breaking and you're giving a girl your shoes when you're getting off the stage so she can get back on. Like, no, it is not, it's a very like team effort, I would say, because once the TV goes on, you have to be ready to go, and there's a very short break, and it doesn't matter if you're not ready. We have to get on the stage because we have like time calls. So you need a lot of gowns. Like Backstage, I will have extra gowns, and if a girl's gown breaks, like she will take it and she will wear it, and that's how we're going to get through the competition. But we'll have those gowns, and then I will have like cocktail dresses just in case. I'll have interview. I like wearing suits. I enjoy them. They're comfortable. And then I'll have a lot of shoes, because your feet, people don't understand how bad your feet hurt for the week. The trick is to keep switching your shoes. I modeled with Giovanni. I did a 14 wear runway. We did three runways a day. And my feet were like broken afterwards. They hurt so bad. So switch your shoes constantly, and that helps as well.
That's so interesting. I never knew about that trick. So mental note. So what is the most exciting thing you're looking forward to at this pageant? So I know, like I'll give mine, right? So Elvis Presley room, right? Like I feel like everyone's looking forward to go there. Like, is this the one, or there's something else?
Elvis Presley room is amazing. If you haven't seen it, you have to Google it online. It's just beautiful. Like you don't understand until you see it in person. Like there's gold in it and everything. It's gorgeous. For me, a lot of these girls are my really good friends. So just seeing them, there's many girls like Brazil. I'm so excited to see her. I haven't seen in so long. American, she is like a part of my heart. She's been with me through a lot of what I've been going on as well. Haiti ended up being one of my best friends in the world as well. So it's honestly seeing a lot of these girls that you haven't for so long, seeing their families. All of our kids know each other a lot of times. They go to some of these events because remember, you're competing since your state. So you're going to multiple events. The families are like, a lot of the husbands know each other as you're going through, and they make these connections. So a lot of times, even our children are really excited, and they make plans together to hang out. So they get even more excited when you win, because then they get to go to the next pageant with everybody. So you build a family. But honestly, my directors, I'm excited to see Tana and Elaine. They're just amazing people.
That's awesome. So it will be a fun reunion, right, with everyone. Awesome. Is there something you're worried about?
I think for me, the most difficult challenge this week is going to be getting through the pageant with strength and with everything. It just feels like there's a huge weight right now. I'm going to be honest. I had been thinking, should I even go at this point? Because there was a point where, I'm looking at my sister in hospice before she passed, and I'm like, what does anything mean in this world at this point? If your family's everything. Right now, we made this decision. We're going. I don't know if that'll change based on how everything goes. For me, this is the first time I've been out of bed. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. I like to seclude when I'm stressed or when I'm going through something. So I think for me, it's going to be managing my energy and getting through the week, just without honestly just breaking down, because it's been more difficult. But I think that this is the right thing to do. I think that our cause, especially after what happened, needs to be heard. And what better than a world stage to talk about what just happened and what shouldn't have happened?
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I'm sure you will do awesome. And I'm wishing you all the luck. So I'll be watching. And so can you share with our viewers where they can find you if they want to reach out, follow, if they want to support you during this pageantry, where they can find you?
Absolutely. We have a social media team, so feel free to reach out. We have Ashley Sweder .com, which is our website as well, so you can reach out. You can join the movement as well. We do broadcast your story, so if you have a story of hardship, something that you're going through, you need help, go on ashleysweder.com. You can send in your story, and we can either share it or we can try and get you that support, because there are so many support systems. Go on Special Hearts Farms. They have a .com. They also have social media on Instagram. We are in the process of building all of these homes for special needs. So if you'd like to donate, or if you just like to watch the story, they post amazing videos of some of the stories of the members of their community. They're also going to have an area where you can host parties or buy different products like eggs and milk and things of that nature. So they have a lot of great things, so you can support them as well. And the products they have are amazing, by the way. When I have parties, I'm going over there to pick up a gift basket they're making. It's not very expensive, and you get a lot of natural products like soaps and things of that nature, especially if you're hypoallergenic, because they use natural products. And then you have my social media as well, Ashley Sweder. We have on Instagram, and you have the Mrs. Albania World pageant as well, which is on Instagram. You can follow all of them. Feel free to reach out. Feel free to share your story. I would love to share it as well.
Thank you so much. You're awesome. So before we start wrapping up, if you can share with our viewers if there's any one final piece of advice that you'd like to share tonight.
Say, if I can give you any advice, I am not here to tell you that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, or that your life's going to be a Disney movie and it's going to get better. What I can tell you is, if you are willing to fight for your life, if you are willing to get up every day and make an oath to just try, and be an advocate for yourself, we are here to support you, and we are here to stand hand in hand in this fight with you. Life can be difficult, but you can get through it. As somebody who's been through a lot in the last few months, I know how hard life can be. For every mother listening to this, I know that there are days where you're going to wake up and you are going to say, I cannot get through this day. It is so difficult. You can, and we are here to support you. Yeah. You are amazing, and you are more powerful than anything that is going to come your way.
Thank you so much. Thank you for everything. It was amazing. That was Ashley Sweder, and she is Mrs. Albania. And we can all watch her next week at Mrs. World. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys again in 2 weeks.